Hide her. Hide them all. I beg you.
What will you give me in exchange, Cerberus?
Anything.
Well, now, I'm not going to talk about Judy. In fact, we're not going to talk about Judy at all.
Is with the tide unto another brood.
That's it. Cancel the kitchen scraps for lepers and orphans. No more merciful beheadings. And call off Christmas.
This time, I dare use my own spells against you,
I can't even see what's good anymore.
Who are you? You're the Goblin King.
This is Epic Fail, episode 43. Today is January 16th of 2016, and we are going to return to your regularly scheduled program now.
You are now listening to the Epic Fail podcast.
I got my mic fixed, guys. By the way, thank you, Theory.
You're welcome.
So it turns out that my recording device that I'm using to broadcast, OBS, has a setting to turn my microphone, because words are hard, to turn that up. And yeah, because it was going through just fine in Skype and not the stream, and we couldn't figure it out. And then we do the settings, and yeah, that was fun. 43 episodes in, guys. The very definition of epic fail right there. Anyway, greetings. I am the host, Draven Dresden. With me as always on this fail train that I'm literally dragging them along because they're like, no, please, let us go. Sometimes more literally than others. Up first, since, female and it's polite, we have all the way from Canada, Scarlett. How are you? What have you been up to this week?
I just got called an it, so thanks.
Did I call you an it?
You said it's female.
Oh, I'm sorry. Number two.
So,
I'll
I'm the one drinking adult beverages.
I will go. That's all the way up to 5. I've had a long day. How are you? What have you been up to other than being called, impersonal pronouns?
I'm sad that Colonel Brandon is dead because other than he's like my second favorite character from the classic novels. So that's sad. And he was a really good impersonation of Colonel Brandon. He was really good. My first favorite is still alive. Please, Timothy Dalton, don't die because you were really good in Jane Eyre. So just saying that. What have I been up to? I went back to work. Yay. Not sick anymore. Rating. I finally got exalted with all the reps in Draenor, including the Ashran rep. Except I've never set foot in Ashran.
I did the exact same thing you did then.
Thank you, Medallions of the Legion.
Yep.
Now, I just need to get 2,000 more Apexis, and then I get the mount, because I had the bright idea last week of burning all my Apexis for fun reasons, just to see how many purples I could get, even though I don't need the gear. So now I need 2,000 more Apexis. I had 120,000. Anyways, so yeah. And my monk is 100 and she's getting gear, and I forgot how fun monk tanking is, so that's cool. And that's my week.
Fun times there. And then apparently the new tech support of our show and graphic artist and from down in Florida, Theory, how are you? What have you been up to this week?
Well, the past couple of days have been dodging tornadoes. Something that we don't usually have here. We had another one today, about 20 minutes from where I live, and pretty bad one that hit a couple people at work just a couple days ago. So that's been kind of rough. But I mean, in game, it's going pretty well. We talked a little bit about it last week. I'm actually playing a warlock for Vex now, as well as the regular fire department team that I'm usually on and we normally talk about. And I got my moose, so thanks guys from Vex, appreciate that. And we're pretty close on getting there with the fire department team too. I think probably a week or two we'll at least be looking at some heroic Archie pulls. So fantastic there. In game, I don't really care about reps, especially Ashran. I got my flying, and that's enough for me, so I'm not worried about that. But Scarlet, it is Apex this weekend, so you can try to make some of those back if you really care.
That is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. As for me, in game, I decided, due to something I'll just bring it up now. 2016 has not been a good year. The ongoing joke right now is the script of the year has been written by George R.R. Martin. And so I was planning on streaming my run, and then since I did it literally yesterday, and that's when I found out about Alan Rickman, it hit me way harder than it really should have, and I don't know why, but I was not going to stream it. So I ran it anyway. I did my donation. I did it anonymously, though. I got 20 minutes and 55 seconds, I believe, so I threw $30 at him. And then, funny enough, I got the mount that nobody can see, except we could see the icon, but not, yeah. So I got Invincible finally for my ICC challenge run, and that's really been my in-game, other than raiding. I haven't... Oh, we'll talk about it in WoW section, but I got kicked out of a mythic dungeon because I was playing fire on my mage, and I was in CTR. And people don't understand that people in CTR consider every sub-guild of CTR as all one guild.
What?
So that was fun. Yeah, that was good times.
No, I'm confused. CTR people kicked you because...
No. It was, there was like 3 people from Sargeras, and they were like, what guild are you in? Why are you playing fire? You don't have best in slot gear, blah, blah, blah. Why did you take that talent? I'm like, because the last thing we pulled was heroic Isgard and we needed the AoE. Why does it matter? And then I got kicked, and I was like, I linked the DPS meter and say, since it takes a minute to kick. And I was like, I'm beating you, though. Because they were talking about how bad my DPS was. I was like, but I'm beating you. And then I, joined another group, and we went and did more.
People are jerks.
Yeah.
People are jerks.
I mean, I will freely admit, my fire spec is not optimized to 100% most DPS. My fire spec is quite literally, what does the group need most?
Well, what were you running? What kind of dungeon was this?
It was Mythic Shadow Moon Burial Ground.
So
you don't have
easy.
to be doing more than like 25K to be pulling your weight in there.
Yeah.
What
I
were
was
you doing, like 60?
actually, for the most part, I was doing 75, 80.
Yeah.
Because everything dies so
People are-
fast.
People are stupid.
Yeah. And the person who was getting mad at me was doing like 55. I'm like, I'm doing more than you, so why do you care?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah,
But I got
they have
invincible.
no idea that that's like your third alt or something either.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I said. And then they called me, they said I was a liar because I'm in a sub guild at CTR. I was like, yeah, but it's all one guild.
they're all sub guilds.
Yeah.
There is no just CTR guild.
Yeah.
At least not a real one.
Do you hear
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
It's because
And-
the tap isn't on.
All right. So yeah. Did my ICC run, didn't stream it, got invincible, made my donation. I'm not even
So-
mad anymore that I got kicked out of that random group.
So here's a fail for you. When I did my run, which actually, from what I think I heard today, is pretty successful. 2 out of 3 of the people I challenged did it. So that's pretty cool. But when I did my run, I didn't use the link to do my donation. So they got it, but it's not actually on the ICC challenge page on their little, I don't know what you call it, the little, almost looks like a thermometer thing that's bursting because they have passed the goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. It's all right. I challenged Elvine. Haven't heard back yet. Alternative Chat. She does Starting Zone with Mick Montgomery, does a blog, that kind of thing. She said she's already been challenged and already did it. So I don't know if I'm supposed to challenge somebody else at this point. And then I couldn't resist, and I challenged Lore, the community manager.
That's a good one. I mean,
That's
I
awesome.
don't think he's done it.
Yeah.
At least if he has, I haven't seen it.
I haven't heard anything. I know he's been away for a while, so he might not have seen it yet. But I was like, who can I do that would get more attention to this?
That's kind of why I chose the people that I did. You know,
Yeah.
I figured I chose somebody who I knew that was a podcaster that we all enjoy, and then 2 other people who I thought could pull in a lot more people than I could. And, you know, those 2 people have done it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And actually, one of them did their ICC challenge today, actually. Well, earlier today now. Yesterday for us, but. So that was pretty cool. I would have been there to watch it, but work.
That thing called work.
Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, that's been the week. So let's go ahead and hit up some Blizzard news.
This is the Blizzard news you can use.
Okay, so Blizzard news. Mentioned it earlier. I'm not liking 2016 so far. It wasn't in the little video Theory made, which, by the way, thank you. That was a really nice video.
Thank you.
I especially like the fact that Scarlet, out of the 3 of us in your version 1, caught a typo or something. I don't even know what it was.
Had to bring that up.
Hey, anytime I can point a fail away from me.
So
For a
yes,
change?
to explain, the first version of that I made, at the very end, I have overlays for, you know, the actor and the musician, and I didn't put the name right for one of the 2 of them. It was kind of weirdly reversed. Not really. So, you know, I made the video. I was really, really happy with the video, and then I screwed up a minor detail, which is pretty much what I do. I don't mess up the hard stuff. I screw up the easy stuff that shouldn't be a problem for anyone. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, it was a nice video either way, but I am glad you fixed it. 'Cause, yeah.
I'm just glad YouTube worked because I didn't know it was wrong until about an hour ago. So
Yeah. Yeah, it literally got re-uploaded, half an hour before we went on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, Lemmy from Motorhead recently. And then David Bowie, which, not a huge fan of all his music. I like some of it. But if that hit me pretty hard, and then, as I mentioned earlier, Alan Rickman hit me way harder than it had any right to.
You secretly have a man crush on him, don't you?
No.
What?
He
I
was
would if
really
I was a
good
man.
actor.
He was a really
He's a
great
really
villain.
good actor.
I would
and
have a man crush on him.
Okay.
it's kind of funny. I didn't realize how many great villain roles he had until now.
Yeah.
Die Hard's one of my most favorite movies pretty much ever, which is kind of funny in itself, but I didn't realize he was Hans Gruber until today, which is, I was like, wait a second. All right. That's pretty cool. But anyway, like, the guy's just a great actor, so it's definitely a big loss. And then, David Bowie's David Bowie. We talked a little bit about it in chat. Somebody mentioned it. There's a couple other people. Like, we lost the guy that voiced one of the Disney characters, and then we also lost Grizzly Adams. So,
Natalie Cole was another one that has recently. But, going with what Blizzard semi-related, David Bowie, while not directly Blizzard related, his son is directing the World of Warcraft movie.
Wait, Duncan Jones is David Bowie's son?
Yes.
What?
I could have swore I linked you that tweet that he said he's stepping away from, internet and public for a little while because of his dad. But maybe I missed it.
Maybe I missed. Obviously, I missed it because holy crow, I did not know that.
Yeah. And then, Alan Rickman, pretty much anyone who plays Blizzard games is a fan to some degree of Harry Potter and thus probably a fan of Severus Snape, which is how most people are going to remember him. But
my
I said
favorite,
most, not only.
Marvin the Depressed Robot.
Yes. I was actually going to ask Theory to throw a Marvin somewhere, but he was pretty much everywhere last week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of ironic.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
The Sheriff of Nottingham is a good role.
The movie was awful.
No,
he was really
that
good.
movie
It's classic.
is epic.
The movie is awful. Alan Rickman and Morgan Freeman are the two best parts of that movie.
No, that's like a classic that you watch like Princess Bride. It's just amazing.
No, completely different. No. It's a Kevin Costner movie. It's not going to be that good.
You know what? Kevin Costner is actually a pretty decent actor. Not all his roles, but...
Waterworld.
Are you dissing?
By the
That's
way,
my favorite movie.
For any of you who
I'm
are
so
doubting
sorry.
Greg, and I looked it up, and he is 100% correct on the Duncan Jones thing. And you're 100% wrong on the movie thing. So there you go. It equals out.
I am a... You guys know this. I've mentioned it before. I am a movie snob. So
I did not know that.
Yeah. If I see too many things wrong with a movie, it doesn't matter how great the movie is, I will hate it. Because my mind just cannot get over that. But no.
I am never watching a movie with you.
That's probably a good idea. But, yeah. Actually, that was the first movie I saw Alan Rickman in. I didn't see him in Die Hard until a couple years after I saw that Robin Hood movie. And then, obviously, the Harry Potters, Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide. Also, hated that movie. He was the only good part in it I liked.
I have two older British men that are my favorite British actors. They were both in Hitchhiker's Guide. Marvin, so Alan Rickman, and Slarta Bartfast. What's that guy who, what's his name?
I don't know the actor, but I know the character.
He played in Pirates of the Caribbean. He played the tentacle.
Oh, I know who you're talking, and it's
He is my absolute favorite British old man. And if I was an old lady, I would totally do him. But he's a little old for me, so I won't. But I love him to pieces. Like both of they are awesome dudes.
usually people have that reaction with like Sean Connery or Patrick Stewart. No, you're this other guy.
Patrick Stewart's not hot. He's a good actor, but he's not hot.
I'm just going with what I hear. People are like, "Oh my god," I'm like, "No, I don't get it."
Yes, it was Davy Jones, but his real name, whatever it is, he is my
He was in my favorite episode of Doctor Who, and I can't think of his name. He was the museum guy in Vincent.
Slarta Bartfast.
But yeah,
Bill Nye.
not Bill Nye. Bill Nye.
The science guy?
No. Bill Nye.
That's why I corrected it. Make sure.
Yes. So those two dudes, amazing actors. And Bill Nye better not die or this world sucks.
One of the first things I saw after finding out was people were like, someone better get a protective barrier around Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. Because
see, I wouldn't be as upset if they died.
I would be upset. I've watched many movies that they've been in, and they've been really good.
So now we're picking and choosing who it's okay if they die. I don't understand this conversation. Like,
you know who I was really sad that died was the first Dumbledore, because he played the old man in
Gladiator. He was the original Emperor dude in that.
Well, what I was thinking of was why are movie titles hard? You know, the guy who gets sent to the prison, the Chateau d'If, and he spends like 12 years in prison, and then he goes and the Count of Monte Cristo. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's try to get a little bit back on topic. I mean, I know I did put in the notes 2016 as written by George R.R. Martin, so technically we're not off topic at all. But let's kind of reel it back in.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So no one else famous and influential is allowed dying this year.
You gotta give us at least a week.
Let's have a little bit more than a week. We had 3 really close together. And obviously these last 2, David Bowie and Rickman, are going to be a little bit more quote-unquote influential, but let's back off on the dying, guys. Even Martin has some pacing in between some major deaths, so let's back off a bit. So
I had to. I don't know why. That was my thing to George R.R. Martin.
Anyway, let's get back to Blizzard stuff. And there we go. Hollywood studio Legendary, people that did Jurassic World recently, the most recent Godzilla, the ones who are making and putting out the Warcraft movie, got bought by a Chinese conglomerate. It's called the Wanda Group for $3.5 billion. It was reported on and all that. And yeah, it's only Blizzard related because it's they're making a Warcraft movie. But Warcraft isn't nearly as big in that area. So unless he's just buying,
to differ.
Isn't there a World of Warcraft theme park in China?
It's a fake one.
Malls. They have malls that have displays right now for the movie 6 months before it comes out.
Yeah, but we already had it. It's just kind of touring.
What they have now is not the same thing that we had at BlizzCon.
No.
It's much more extravagant.
I'm just thinking that general region of the world, StarCraft and stuff like that, is a bigger game.
That is true, but you also have a hugely more populated area there than here. So even if we're not top dog over there, it's still a huge thing for them. The notes from Wanda was something, it was kind of funny because it was almost like a slap in the face, but they said how almost all of the major movie houses in the world are all in the US, and that was a problem, and this solves that problem. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I was kind of taken aback by that, and I was like, well, you're pretty much right, but that's kind of a weird way to look at it. But they also own, I believe it's AMC theaters and a bunch of other movie theaters too, but AMC is like the biggest one. So they're definitely dipping into the movie scene on both sides now, pretty hardcore. But I really feel like the Warcraft movie is going to be probably as big there as it is here, if not bigger.
Yeah. And normally we would do the question, like feedback thing, but since it actually ties into this, do you want me to we can just bring it up right now?
Yeah, might as well just talk about it now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not there. Where did I put it? Yay,
I have it.
Yeah. Well, Theory made a thing for it, but...
Yeah, I have the thing open. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. We'll do the question now.
Okay, so this is from Alessander, and she says, just saw this on a news feed from Fox Business. Chinese mogul Wang Jianlin of the Dalian Wanda Group has bought Legendary Entertainment, makers of Jurassic World, for $3.5 billion. The executive gave no further details, but said it was acquiring Legendary Entertainment for both intellectual property reasons and the studio's movies. A deal to secure a majority stake has been agreed. Wanda is the world's biggest movie theater operator, having bought AMC Entertainment in 2012. So the question is this the same Legendary making the Warcraft movie? And with China's interest in the franchise as well as StarCraft, I don't expect this to change anything except maybe encourage a StarCraft movie. Thoughts?
1, yes, same theater, or same company, Legendary. And then part 2, I would love to see a StarCraft movie, if done right.
I think StarCraft, even as much as I don't really enjoy the game, I think it has really cool lore and story behind it. It would be cool as a movie. I would go see it.
With StarCraft, when StarCraft 2 came out, the game editor, I toyed with the idea of literally building a movie of all of StarCraft 1. And then I got into the editor and saw how much work it was going to be. And if I kept up and kept doing it at the time, I would, at this point, have about 45 minutes of the 4-hour estimation I had done.
And we see why it takes a long time to release movies. Yep.
Well, they have more than one person working on them, too. So that would help. But yeah, anyone who puts that kind of stuff out, respect, man. That's not an easy thing, and it's not quick. Alrighty.
Is it really bad I have an urge to troll you right now?
When would that be different than normal?
You won't do it.
You forgot to do the hand gesture with respect. Respect, man!
No. Although, thank you for the great screen cap for the show title later.
You're welcome. You
Note
really
to
should have done it.
self. Break down the time here real quick. Put that on Twitter.
I don't care.
Alright. What about you guys? What do you guys think, besides what you already talked about? Dipping their feet into both waters, that kind of thing. Or
Scarlet.
is that... Yeah. We'll go Scarlet first. What do you think?
This was my thought. I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably a good idea.
My thought after reading their comments is it makes sense. I don't think it's going to affect the Warcraft movie at all. It's already too far past production to have anything change on it. The only thing that may change is the marketing that they're using and where they're spending their dollars at. But since Legendary is still based here in the U.S. And will be like a sub part of that company most likely for a while, even if they end up disseminating it and switching it around, I don't see anything changing anytime soon enough to affect the movie. So as far as that goes, I really don't think it'll change anything. It could be really good for the movie making industry, but honestly, I don't really think Warcraft at all. But we'll see.
I know most places, as long as you make a big enough profit, they let you just whatever. As long as, obviously it has to be legal and all that, but if you make good movies that people keep going to see, people will be like, have at it. That's why people like Joss Whedon can pretty much do whatever he freaking wants, because people will flock to the movie he makes and see it repeatedly, even if the movie's not that great. Age of Ultron. And
I think there's a real market right now for video game movies and doing them well. So if a large company, instead of having these B unknown studios with a really crappy budget release the films and make them, semi okay, but would have been really, award winners if they had the budget, then why not let somebody with the budget be able to make that happen?
I don't know about the video game market, because
the nerd thing is a hype right now, though.
Okay, I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is every single video game movie, with the exception of the first Mortal Kombat, which is arguably the best video game movie made, and even that wasn't that great, they've all kind of bleh.
Okay, don't be dissing my Mario movie, okay?
So this is where I think that you're right, and also maybe a tad short-sighted. Video games are kind of the next thing. If you think about the way artistry and things have changed that happened after comic books. There was comic books for your fantasy, and then video games started, in the early 80s. And kind of built from there. Well, the comic book movies are huge. Mm-hmm. Marvel is making a killing every time they put a movie out, and everybody's looking forward to spending more money on the next one. So yeah. I think that the game movies, the gaming scene itself has probably matured to the point where they can take a game and actually make a decent movie out of it. And I do think some of the other movies that have actually happened, like Avatar, for example, yeah, that wasn't really a video game movie, but if you think about the concepts in that movie, does that not sound like an MMO that's been out for years? It does to me. Not Warcraft based, but maybe EverQuest or something like that. Think about blue people walking around. That sounds exactly like a video game to me. So, I honestly think that even though you're right as far as the history goes, I think moving forward, what we're going to see more and more of in the next 15, 20 years is a combination of movies and video games, and them really kind of becoming the same thing, not just having successful game movies.
Yeah.
And also...
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think right now the average people who go to the movie are probably people in their 20s to 40s. And those are all the people who grew up on video games and, like people who used to play Warcraft, people who used to play EverQuest, all that kind of stuff. So it'll be nostalgia lane for them too.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that they can't have like a bunch of video game movies come out. I'm saying in the past, they've all pretty much kind of sucked.
Yeah,
but then again, up until basically Marvel said, you know what, screw this, we're going to make a real one. And that can actually go kind of back to the first Blade movie and the first X-Men movie. Once those came out, and they're like, oh, these were actually not horrible, and people paid money to see these. Marvel was like, we got this. Throughout Iron Man. Holy crap. Throughout Hulk, Thor, Captain America, all these other ones. And people kept going. Then they're like, Guardians of the Galaxy, let's see what they think. And people were like, best one ever. Okay. Ant-Man. Why are you people still going to see these movies? All it takes, if Warcraft does really well, and if it's a really good movie, I can see video games getting the budgets, getting the actors, getting the scripts, all that stuff that would take to make, video games the next quote-unquote comic book of movie. It just...
Well, that's the thing.
The track record... Yeah, the track record is just not there yet.
Well, that's the thing. They've all had crappy budgets because nobody's ever thought they'd be good yet. Or...
Now, the one thing that this whole thing, going back to Alessandra's question, the one thing that this could change is that since the parent company is now based in China, are they going to want to, 2 years down the road, be focusing on movies from China? Meaning that's their target market and that's what they're shooting for. And will that really change whether or not Legendary's making movies for an American market or not? I mean, I think right now they first and foremost are looking at a worldwide market for most of their movies, especially the blockbusters. But when you look at the core of the movie, you can kind of tell it's a Western movie. And I have a feeling that the new owners may shift that a little bit just to try to give it more of a worldwide appeal, which is kind of missing. But at the same time, it kind of sucks because Legendary makes good movies. So that's the one thing that I could see negative happening down the road. But it's not necessarily negative for everybody, just kind of negative for us.
The other thing is anime is becoming popular. So maybe live action anime movies.
As long as they stay away from live action hentai or whatever it's called, I'm fine with that.
But we could have
They already make that theory. Cuddles found a video.
Or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, no.
The guy on Guy Stuff is okay.
No.
And
on that note, we're going to jump this track because that track's going into a very dangerous place.
No.
Yeah. So, since we brought up World of Warcraft, let's actually talk a little bit of Warcraft. Hey, Theory, guess what? Guess what's back? Guess what's back?
Oh, yeah, that thing that you have that you may or may not actually be able to play.
I can.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah, that one I actually can play. Legion Alpha came back just a couple days ago with a whole lot new stuff, including an extra $1 on right next to the original.
Yeah. That's a glitch, right?
I hope so, because that's kind of weird. Hey, literally go out to because you can't fly up in Dalaran right now. You go out to, I think it's called Crassus Landing.
Yeah.
It's the flight path. You go to the edge and you turn left. Or whichever way is left for you guys. You just kind of turn left, and there's another Dalaran over there. With apparently an area for pet battles. I haven't gone over there yet. Haven't tried. I haven't gone to the second Dalaran. I just made a new Demon Hunter for the tank spec to test it out. Because I want to know what I'm leveling next expansion.
Guys don't tank.
Double jump.
What are you talking
heroic
about?
Leap over there.
Double jump and double sprint and then glide.
Well, they have that other one for the tanks where it's like Heroic Leap, but on like steroids.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty cool.
I haven't messed with it too much yet. But yeah, I haven't gone over there yet. I plan on going over there sometime this weekend. It'll be fun. And I'm not going to give any spoilers out, but Enhancement Shamans, Doomhammer, we figure out how you get it now. Won't give any spoilers there. But anyway, let's get into what's actually there. Death Knights! You are available, all of you.
Even though most of you are broken.
Oh, just a little bit.
What do you mean broken? They
In
took
the
all of
alpha.
our cooldowns away.
A lot of the spells and talents don't work yet either.
Yeah, and you
Shadow
don't need
Keys don't either.
Yeah. Demon Hunters, you are now available all the way. If you play a kitty for a druid, you're not in yet, but everything else is good to go. Monks, you still can't tank in the alpha yet, so that's...
What?
They're fixing some of this stuff because monks are just kind of almost unkillable at this point in
Oh my god, God
Warlords.
mode monk. Awesome.
So, yeah, they're not letting you even spec that way. If you like mages, fire's the way to go, and I've been saying that for a while. And right now, it's the only thing you can try.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
The cats are fighting.
Still can't try Beastmaster for hunters. Rhett is the only paladin available, so... I mean, you can still do the artifact quests, but you can't spec as holy or protection, and you can't do much anything else like that.
Who would play a paladin anyways?
I know.
I literally made a new paladin to see if they updated anything in the Ashbringer, and it's still the same. You can't play as holy for a priest. Combat/outlaw is still the only rogue, and still the only one that I have not gotten the artifact out of what's available. And as I said, enhancement, brand new. Elemental, brand new. So you can check those out finally. Affliction, still the only demon. Warlock spec available. And Fury and Protection, still the same. So we're getting a little closer. For those of you looking at the screen, anything with the exclamation point, those are new what you can try. So yeah. So we got a few new specs available, still some tweaking going on. Theory, what do you think about how quickly this stuff's coming out? Because we're running out of time. I mean, we still got plenty of time, but we're running out of time until this stuff happens.
So, I think they did this on purpose. They went on their quote-unquote Christmas break and waited until halfway into January to release all this new stuff. And I don't think that they necessarily did it for any reason other than to be able to say, hey, here's a whole bunch of new stuff. I do think that they have a lot of work to do. But, you know, before the alpha was shut down, they were adding new stuff like every week. Like they added a dungeon. I got to see a dungeon live that was scaled wrong. One of the main streamers, I want to say it was Sloopbag, was running it, and they were just getting annihilated because they were like 104 and the trash was 110. So that was pretty hysterical, you know, because they just released it and it had been out for a couple of weeks. So like they were trickling new stuff in to let people test. And then they go on this break, and now all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of new stuff. So I do think that was part of their plan to begin with, to be able to give you a very large amount of new stuff added. However, you are right. There is a lot more that needs to get added soon. And I'll tell you that September date that they gave us, that we were all like, oh, it's not going to take that long, is starting to look pretty realistic.
Cute.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing. That would be like a year and a half of current raid, which will make it the longest. After Siege being the longest, after Dragon Soul being the longest, after ICC being the longest, can we not make the last raid longer than the previous expansions? That would be great, because I'm tired of looking at this particular raid.
But it gives us more time to get stuff done before the expansion.
I will give you that. But at this point, I am literally logging in, checking my garrison for gold for next expansion, and that's, if it's not raid day, that's about it.
See, I discovered a whole bunch more stuff to do. So
We're listening. What?
Like, waste your Apexis crystals on gear you don't need so you can't get a mount you want?
okay, so I'll be honest. I spent all my gold on medallions. So I did that so I could have some repair gold for the raid.
You
But-
know, you are on a podcast with Murder, who's kind of a WoW zillionaire.
Not quite.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna
You
go ask
also
for
have-
gold.
You have other friends who have more than enough gold as well.
Yeah, but it seems kind of silly to be like, hey, so
Yeah, but you're
I spent
selling
all
those
my
for, like,
money-
You're turning 5,000 Apexis into like 20 gold. That's
9 and 12 gold to be exact. The purples give 12.
Wow.
The blues give 9.
And up next on how to waste your time in WoW.
But I made some more gold because I did I almost got kicked from a raid on my monk. It's kind of funny. So I joined this raid. It was me and Ben B. And I'm like, I'm gonna go do Blackrock Foundry to get gear for my monk. And he's like, oh, I'll join you. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, he's 740 gear level. And my monk is like, she was before I went to the raid, like 660 maybe. So we joined this heroic Blackrock Foundry raid, and the raid leader was like, all BOEs are mine. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. So the raid leader was like away doing some loot, and we were killing trash, and so they didn't get on the loot table for a BOE. So it came up as a free roll, and I won it. And then they're like, trade it to me. So I tried, but it said this person is not eligible for the loot. But they didn't believe me, and they thought I was just like holding it. So then they started acting like dickwads, pardon my French, about the loot, and were trying to on purpose hide the fact that they were trying to not give my monk gear. And then my monk kept rolling 100s on the gear, so I got like, I went up to, she's 673 now. So they weren't very happy. And I almost got kicked. But
Yeah.
so those gloves or whatever it was sold for like 8,000 gold. So I'm rich now. Long story short.
I'm glad that you think 8,000 gold is rich.
Well, whatever. I've bought all my battle pets. I can now start just collecting gold and not spending it.
so at the risk of going on a tangent here.
Because that never happens here.
Well, we've already had a few pretty long ones tonight, but just keep it short and sweet. Thought BOEs were personal loot now.
They are for Hellfire, but Blackrock is still not
Oh,
personal
you're in
loot.
Blackrock. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense then.
Yeah. I mean, she probably could have traded to someone else, and then he could have traded to him or something.
No,
but-
it's because they were. Did you pug this through LFG?
Yeah.
It was different servers. He's not eligible because he's on a different server.
He had guildies with him, so technically I could have sent it to a guildie, and the guildie could have given it to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
Like heck, I'm going to do that. He wasn't eligible. I tried. If I
Yeah,
could have traded it to him, I was gonna.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't ask you to trade it to a guildie so the guildie could
Nope.
trade to him. So
Exactly.
Technically,
quite frankly, if you're running an LFG group and you're saying things like all BOEs come to me, you're a dickhole anyway, and you don't deserve any of them.
Exactly. And then on the last boss, he just stood there and wasn't going to give out the loot. He was just going to let everybody just leave because they were fed up until like 2 other people in the group were like, okay, we're putting in a ticket and reporting you. And so then he started handing out the loot. So he was a not so nice player anyways.
he was gold farming for his guild or himself.
Of course he was.
Yep.
But all the more gold for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh well. So nice try, guy.
Hey, there's a kitty.
Yeah, that's Arthas.
Hi,
Right
Arthas.
there.
Pretty kitty.
She's on something she shouldn't be on. But I'm
You
gonna
have
let
a
it go.
female cat named Arthas.
I do.
It's a gender bender.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
So when we first got Arthas, we didn't know if it was a male or a female.
You didn't know how
So-
to check?
She was too small.
Oh, okay.
She was like a baby, so we didn't really know for sure. We found out like a week later. But yeah, she's trying to get in between the shelves back there, so that's not good. But so if everything falls behind me, that'll be a wonderful fail for the show.
See that shelf there with all the things falling off it? My kitten likes to get up there and go, whee, and smack everything off.
Yeah.
Well, the stuff she's playing with is actually stuff that could actually probably hurt a little bit. There's no stuffed animals up there.
All right.
And she's just
I will
going to town.
I will give you a few seconds. I'm going to switch screens, and we're going to get back on topic. Kind of. Rating testing. As of today, it's kind of open. They will scale people up to 110, and you can you could walk in at the time and, do some testing with your friends or strangers or guild members or a combination of any of that. So far, Ursoc from Heroic Emerald Nightmare, because apparently they're not going to test normal. They're just going to test Heroic and scale down from there, which kind of makes sense. Anywhere between 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending, whenever they decide, okay, we have enough information. So you literally could have been mid-pull and they'd be like, okay, we got it, good, thanks, bye. That would be fun.
Bay's team actually finished a wipe and came back to the person that ported you to the boss, and they didn't have the choice to port back in. So I think they just turned that portal off. They didn't actually kick you out in the middle, which is nice.
Yeah.
Finish your poll, but they were getting very, very well beat up. It wasn't even close. Most of the polls were, 80%, 85%, and this is some pretty damn good raiders, and they were struggling.
So they're probably a little bit overtuned, which is good for alpha/beta. Because I don't know that they're going to go from alpha to beta. It might be literally, here's beta for a month. Oh, here we go. We're going to release it. I have a feeling that's what we're going to see.
If that's the case, they should just skip the beta altogether and just take it straight from alpha to
Well,
release.
I'm thinking it'll be like an open beta, but only at for a weekend or something like that. But otherwise, if you're not in it, you don't get in.
But all the bugs.
That way, that's why I think they're going to open it up for people.
So this is my suspicion. I'm going to call it now. They will have a beta, but it will be a closed beta, not an open beta. And then what will happen is on the movie release weekend, the week after that, will be the patch that is the preparation patch for the expansion. We will have that for about a month and a half, and then the actual game will come out in the beginning of September-ish. And the reason that I'm calling it that way is that is a way where they will not actually cannibalize their sales of either one by doing it that way, and they will actually be advertising for both that way. I think that you're going to see Alpha probably string on for at least 2 months more before anything changes there, especially since half the classes that are able to be played are still broken.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
When is the movie coming out?
June
16th.
June 16th. And we're looking at September.
How do you not know when the movie's coming out?
Because I didn't memorize it. I know Deadpool comes out in a month, just under.
Also, Deadpool hype.
I'm going to.
Is it weird that I don't care about Deadpool at all?
I don't like Ryan Reynolds, and he's
I
Canadian.
I didn't
but
even know
still
he
don't.
was in it. So
He's
He's
playing
Deadpool.
Deadpool. They're giving Deadpool a real movie, yeah. Anyway.
But I don't even like Deadpool the character, but I think the movie looks freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so June 16. So that is 6/16. And you're looking at, what, September what for your release date?
I want to say it was September, like
I know 21st is
18th
the
or
last.
something like that.
Yeah, I know
it's like
21 is last, but you said early.
So a week or two before that will probably be the release day, and the week or two before that was the you can play a Demon Hunter because you reserved it time. And then 2 months before that will be the pre-patch.
I think Demon Hunters are coming with the pre-patch.
They said we'd only have it for about a week, though. And the pre-patch usually lasts for at least a month.
I think we're going to get Demon Hunters for the entire pre-patch, just so people can get used to playing it and get some
that
gear
wouldn't be
to
a
level.
bad thing, but that's not what they said. They said if you pre-purchased it, you would have a week or so access before everyone else.
Or so.
Right,
I
right.
think they're going to give us the pre-patch, or it's going to be a short pre-patch.
But that's the thing. It can't be the pre-patch for the whole pre-patch because then you're giving it to everyone, not just the people who pre-ordered.
Yeah, the people who pre-order will get to play Demon Hunter, but that's when it's coming, is during the pre-patch. You
So
don't get access to the Demon Hunter until...
for everyone else. It
Yes.
will only go live for... Okay, well...
Yeah. The
So
pre-order
didn't
get it early.
Didn't they do that with pandas?
No.
No.
Pandas were
No,
live.
it wasn't pandas. It was monks. You could be a monk if you had purchased Pandaria, but you couldn't be a panda till the expansion. But you could be a monk early.
I don't know. I also didn't care about monk. I also never have cared about monks, so I have one, but I don't care.
So fun. I love being a monk.
Anyway. Rails. Okay.
No, that was totally on topic.
Yep. Yeah. And got some more information about bonus stuff if you pre-order Legion, since we're talking about pre-ordering Legion. Basically, the new thing is in Diablo, you can look like a wild demon hunter.
Really?
That's the new thing.
I kind of want to play Diablo now just for that.
You know, funny you mentioned that. We're actually going to talk a little bit about Diablo coming up later.
Diablo Schmablo.
I'm going to start playing it here soon again.
Aren't monks fun cuddles? Because they are so fun. Why did anybody tell me before now to level my monk to 100? Because, oh my god. Also, dungeon farming is so fun because you can seriously just dragon flying kick across the dungeon and hey, look, I can travel super fast. Fun for raid farming.
And then when you die, everyone's like, why did you pull so much?
No, not when you're soloing like Firelands and shit.
Well, that's different. But during leveling, yeah.
I didn't say it's fun to level monk with
dungeon
flying dragon
farming.
kick. I said dungeon farming.
Which is what I consider leveling a monk. Dungeon farming. Anyway. Do we have anything else really WoW related?
I think that's it.
So that's it until we bring it up again later.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
All right. In that case, I know Cuddles is in chat. He likes a particular card game now. Scarlet, you like a card game. Theory plays every now and again.
Every once in a while.
Yeah, I try to keep up on the dailies at the very least. We're talking about Hearthstone. So, Hearthstone news. The big news, the Tavern Brawl. Kind of a repeat, kind of a new. It's weird territory that we've never really been in. It's not really a repeat because you get to play as 2 new classes, but it's not really new because it's the same thing we've had before. Mechazod, the first one that we had to team up for, which was actually the week of BlizzCon. This was out because I remember because I played it at BlizzCon. We have Druid and Mage now for the week. I've gone through 7 times. I've won 3 at this point. I've gotten Druid every single time.
I've always gotten Mage.
And the Mage is Medivh every time, if I understand it. So, I've gotten Druid every time. And I can guarantee the person on the other side is going crazy. Like, why aren't you attacking with these minions? Because he's got an ability that will hit a random minion. Giving him more options would be good. Keep my big minion for that.
I had an epic game.
Okay.
I was able to play Millhouse, which makes all spells free. And I was able to play Lorewalker Cho in the same turn. And the mage had
You mean the Druid?
Pyroblast. No.
If you're a mage, the other person
Sorry,
is Druid.
they played it, and then I had Pyroblast and 2 Fireballs. And then he didn't kill Lorewalker Cho the next time, so I got those back, and we just annihilated him. It was awesome. And then I lost a whole lot of games.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those that is better if you're teamed with someone you can talk to. Be like, hey, is this gonna be okay? Like, I think it's designed that the mage is supposed to kill the boss, and the druid is there to help the mage do it.
Giggity.
This is what I have to deal with, guys.
We need more humor in this show.
Well, I did let the 2 fireballs thing go, except for say something about it in chat. So I mean, I gave you half, and then now I'm gonna...
Yeah. Fun. But really, that's all there is. Go ahead.
No, there was one other Hearthstone thing.
Okay.
The developer video on...
Oh, yeah.
Why tell us everything? Because you don't need to know everything. But in a really awesome... I have a question for Theory. Doesn't his voice sound like duck sauce?
What are you talking about?
Ben Brode's... Okay, you gotta go watch it right now and just tell me sounds like duck sauce.
Yeah, I didn't put it in the show notes, but it was in our little groupie thing prior to whenever I found it.
I'll take a look. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's basically saying we can't always tell you every little detail because we might change it 87,000 times between when we come up with it and when it comes out. And if you really like this one version, you're going to hate it when it comes out, even if it's awesome.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just click on your BattleNet and watch the video in the Hearthstone section.
Yeah.
And just listen to the intro of his voice and just tell me if you think it sounds like duck sauce. Because you should do it now.
Yeah, I mean, and take this to every game. We can't always have information about WoW or Overwatch or any other game. They're going to be working on stuff. It's not like they're sitting in their office being like, I wonder what we can not do today. Yes,
well, it's just like every company.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks for people like us who want stuff coming out nonstop, or at least weekly, so we have something to talk about. But at the same time, you can't expect brand new stuff all the time. It's nice when it happens, And, you know, with at least with Hearthstone, Tavern Brawl's generally newish. So there's at least something new, and sadly, you know, the other games can't always do that. But, you know, when you get new stuff, yay, new stuff. It's just in the meantime, they're not sitting there doing nothing, guys. Calm down. Let them work, because the more you bug them on pointless, goofy stuff that doesn't need brought up, the more time is taken away from them actually doing their job of putting new stuff out that we will consume far too quickly for their own good.
So to answer your question, he speaks very similarly to Duck Sauce, but he doesn't really sound like Duck Sauce because he doesn't sound like he's speaking on a very expensive microphone, and his voice is slightly higher pitched. But I can see why you said that.
Sounds like it. So it's like at work, I work in a call center, and you get customers complaining the fuck out of, oh my god, I had to sit on hold for 20 minutes before I got to you. And then they sit there telling you for 10 minutes how they spent time on hold. Well, you know what? You're making someone wait 10 minutes so I can just answer and say, yes, if you look on page 2, you got your damn credit, so shut the fuck up. So, you know, people just complain about stuff and they shouldn't do it. They really shouldn't.
Thank you for letting me use my censor button again. Obviously not for the live show.
You're welcome. But it's true.
If I had it available, and I would have known exactly when to hit the button, I would have. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way with this. So, yay, chat room, you get a bonus.
Chat room, they're not kids. They've heard the words before.
Well, they do have to say they're of age before they get in here, so. Just for that reason. But for purposes later, it's getting beat.
No comment.
Whoops. Ditto. And with that, we are going to get on to a less scarlet infuriating topic. And talk about something we haven't really talked about before recently for about 3 months, probably. And that is... Wait, this can't be right. Diablo. What? And Season 5. Guess what? It just started. Like 8 hours ago or so as of live recording. Give or take. So, for you Diablo people who like Diablo and seasonal stuff, here you go. New season. You got a new area, new legendaries, new dungeon type, all that fun stuff. Do you play Diablo at all, Theory? And I mean at all.
Used to. Don't anymore. I don't have it installed. Played it when Diablo 3 first came out because it was free as part of my I'm going to give Blizzard all my money for WoW agreement. So yeah, no, I played it then, and I think I did like 4 or 5 different characters, like level 20. It's okay. I was going to ask you what the F was Diablo, but then I figured that would probably push it a little too far. So... No, I know about it. I've seen people play it. I've watched streams of people playing it already today.
Yep. I know at some point, am going to jump in the game, play the new season, see the new stuff, fail horribly at getting Ashbringer. Although apparently now I'm getting it in WoW anyway, so do I really need to? I'm still petitioning Blizzard to put the real corrupted Ashbringer skin available, even if I have to pay like $20 for it. I won't do 15 for a hat, but $20 for a weapon skin? I'd probably do that.
They start putting weapon skins in WoW.
They put
It
hats
better
in.
be like 5. It
They
can't
put
be
hats
20.
in and they did not sell well, and they haven't put
Really?
any more hats in.
They sold well enough. I know Gary's bought all of them
I bought
multiple
one.
times. I didn't buy.
Yeah, but do you guys ever use them anymore? No.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Really?
I almost
I had it
bought
on my monk for a while because my monk was a little itty bitty white gnome walker with his skull mask, and he was very, very cool. As a matter of fact, I won a competition in CTR with him being a white monk walker and got some pet or something like that for it. And I had it once I got my the time walking Lich King mount, because it very much looks Lich King when you have the skull face going. So I used it for a little bit then.
Tailpipe? Exhaust
Well,
pipe?
the mount definitely does, but I mean the mask, the helm that has the crown with the skull.
Yeah.
Looks very, very Lich King, so I went with a blue set for a little while to go with that.
That was the only hat that I thought about buying. And then they said $15. I'm like, I'm not thinking about it anymore.
You just went ahead and bought it?
Nope. It's right up there with the ugly goat. The ugly flying goat.
Space goat.
So hey, look, there's a kitten tumbling things down. I am going to have to buy that stupid space goat and the fly dragon thing. That's the only mounts I don't have, because chances are I'm going to hit 300 mounts before the Legion, and I will probably need those to complete it. I thought he was going to climb up the curtains. He's never done that yet. He can just go in the window. That's fine.
Yeah. The only amount for sale is that ugly goat, and I'm not buying it. It's got to drop below $10 for me to think about it. And so far, $12.50 is as low as it's gone. And I'm like, that $2.50, I can put that to better use, like buying a pen.
You know, this Canadian dollar thing makes every price really sucky.
Yeah. Conversion's fun. But anyway, Diablo. Still not going to get an Ashbringer. I know. It's sad.
Everyone will have Ashbringers. They'll be so
Invincible.
last season.
Shut up. Invincible, shut up. Pardon me.
Yeah. 721 kills. I don't want to hear it. I am so far below the average on that. I don't want to hear it. And that is account wide, by the way. 721 kills.
That's a lot of kills.
Yeah, I added them up and then I started keeping track.
So since we're talking kind of about WoW stuff, and that's the tradition in the middle of our Diablo section, I'm going to keep it going. So there was something that got released or data mined or whatever on MMO Champion, which I expected to be a big deal, and nobody said anything about it. There's a whole bunch more mooses. I thought people would be pissed or excited about all the new mooses. This was like 2
The
weeks
mounts?
ago. Yeah.
Someone said they're really adorable.
There's like 6 other moose mount skins that were data mined on MMO Champion besides the actual moose mount. And I expected people to either go off and riot or decide that they didn't really give a crap about doing heroic Archie anymore because of seeing all these other mooses, but nobody really said anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
I mean, there's a fox mount coming, apparently. There's another dog mount or a pet, or I don't.
Dog mount.
They're gonna be like the stupid
What?
Stupid effing pig mounts this expansion with the ugly ass armor. I really, 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 really want someone to point out that the armor is so ugly on the pigs. Anyways, that's my rant. I don't like the mounts from this thing.
It does seem like that Moose will be the everywhere mount next expansion.
It is true.
And you get a Moose, and you get a Moose. We're all Canadian. Sorry.
That did not
I'm
sound Canadian
sorry.
at all.
It wasn't supposed to, but okay.
Okay.
Apparently, though, everybody's going to become Canadian next year. Oh.
No, that's completely unrelated. I know where you're going with that. That's not going to happen. Although if it did happen, yes, everyone would leave and become Canadian.
Oh, we have a conspiracy theory. None
No,
of the
that-
Dune.
That's just regular theory.
Ha ha ha. None of the new data mine mounts are flying mounts. What does that mean?
It means you don't get to fly right away.
Yeah, they're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Expansion they
In
did this
Legion
Yeah.
Yep.
huddles, you can buy the moose from vendors or meese. Also,
Yeah, they're different
cheers.
mooses than the one that you get from Heroic, but they're still mooses, and there's like 4 or 5 different ones.
I just wonder why this moose has Demon Hunter markings when he falls from Archimond.
Because
Archimond's
reasons.
Art, whatever his name is, does not have Demon Hunter marks on him.
Archimond killed a demon hunter, kept his moose mount, and that's what we get when we kill Archimond. He's like, I like this moose, he is my pet.
You know, when you're tanking, you can hide in Archimond's hoof as a human, just saying. I
So
was
you-
playing a game last night when we were wiping on all the Archimond attempts.
Mhm.
And I was playing a game of let's learn how to strafe and let's hide in the hoof for fun. It was fun.
Wait. Last night, during the Archimond fight, so not in Legion, but in Warlords, when you started in Cataclysm, correct?
Yes.
Last night, after starting in Cataclysm, you decided, let's learn how to strafe.
Yes.
4 years later.
You know what? I have reasons. I am a
Do they-
keyboard turner and a clicker, so what you gonna say? I'm a pretty damn good tank, thank you very much.
Just imagine how much better you would be if you fixed those 2 problems.
You should get your button out.
Mm-hmm. With that, I think we're done with Diablo, because Season 5 is really about it.
Paragon levels, yay!
Yay! More leveling. Although,
I think I'm Paragon like 120.
not anymore, you're not.
So pro.
Season went bye-bye. With that, no StarCraft news, so a game that I will eventually be able to play again. Heroes.
Heroes of the Storm.
So yeah, as we mentioned last week, figured out what my issue with my computer is, why I haven't been able to play Heroes or StarCraft on my actual good computer. I will fix this. Hopefully it doesn't take me. Hopefully it doesn't take me 42 weeks.
You bought another 2 months of not being able to play Heroes when that Invincible Mount dropped.
Yeah, I'm looking at my tax refund right now. If it's enough, I'm getting a better video card, and I'm going to Cleveland Comic Con. And Matt Smith and Karen Gillan pictures and/or autograph. and BlizzCon tickets.
I really want to jump off topic for something here, but I won't.
Why stop now?
Fine. This 12th Doctor is so dark. I don't
Captain
really like
Grumpy
him.
Pants.
I don't really like him, but at the same time, I really, really, really love him. Also, I have a really good friend in real life who I went out to dinner with the other night with him and his boyfriend, and his boyfriend got him this awesome present, and you know what it was? It was the scarf from the 6th Doctor. It's amazing, and it's 10 feet long, because apparently you're not allowed to have scarves that are longer than 10 feet, so it couldn't be the actual 12 feet. Apparently that's a law.
Who knows? Anyway, let's get away from Captain Grumpy Pants and... Oh, that's what I call him.
I love Mr. Capaldi.
He did a good job.
He's my 3rd British older man that I like.
Shouldn't have announced that.
Anyway, free this week, we've got Artanis, Diablo, Tanking Brothers. They're actually really good together as tanks. Malfurion, generally a healer. The Butcher, DPS. Tychus, DPS. Lala, DPS. Kael'thas, Fire DPS if you're level 5. Arthas, level 7. Sergeant Hammer if you're any good at 12. And Right Wing, a healer at 15. And then, on sale, Uther! Everyone hates Uther. Run him into buildings. It'll be fine. Lumberjack Uther. By the way, Uther is $4.25, $4.24. Lumberjack skin at $250, and an actual, it's weird, but it's still kind of cool, Archangel Diablo skin for $5. But honestly, just take Uther and run him into buildings. It'll be fine.
It's funny because when you say all the heroes that are free for the week and whatnot, I picture them all as like what they look like in Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But then you say Kael'thas, and all I imagine is this wimpy little mage from a bush going pew, duck, pew. Oh, did I hit one? And then like, I don't know why, but I really think Kael'thas is a wimp.
In here, I thought you were going to go with that weird comic Kale Fabulous or something like that, where it's literally him all getting primped up and stuff like that. I'll show you guys a link after the show.
Nah, I'm not into Metro.
No, it's not. It's not that at all. It's actually really funny, in a weird what kind of way.
Kael'thas Yowie?
Okay. Anyway, outside of that, Greymane's new. Yay, Greymane. I want to try him. I really want to play Greymane. But my computer's... So... What you gonna do, right?
Yeah, I didn't hit that Powerball, so you will not be getting a new computer from me, sir.
I did not either, which is sad, because if I would have hit the Powerball, A, we would have actually kept going with the show. You guys would have got brand new computers. I would have got brand new computers.
Wait, now what?
That's what I was just like. What we would have.
Are we ending the show?
No, we would have kept going.
Okay, all right. So you're saying that if you had one, we would have not stopped. We
wouldn't have stopped. We would have kept going.
Right.
I would have been really nice. I would have been really nice. You guys would have got brand new top end computers. I would have rented out the Hilton for whoever I felt like, which is mostly CTR and AIE people, and a few other choice people. AKA,
I won part of that Powerball.
I'm talking the big one, the 1.5 billion, not any little portion.
No,
of it.
I won part of the Powerball.
$4 whole dollars?
$4, of which there's
You can't
4 of
claim.
us on the ticket. No, my sister has a coworker who has a friend in the States who we all pitched in money and paid for the ticket, But there's 4 of us, and
So
we
you
won
won
$4.
So you win
So
$1.
we won $1 each, but I have to pay my sister $3.50.
Well, now you don't have to pay her $2.50.
We bought another ticket for whatever is next week's draw.
Way less. But yeah, I had all these plans of what I would do if I did actually win. Renting the Hilton during BlizzCon. Now, when I say renting the Hilton, I mean renting the Hilton, all of it. Every room, the bar, everything. Drinks would have been... I can do that too. This is the last one. It doesn't matter. It's trash now. I won 0. But yeah, I would have flown people out. You buy your own merch. Probably. I might have just said, you know what, I'm buying merch for everybody too. But it would have been pretty much, and you get a free BlizzCon, and you get a free BlizzCon. And then I would have done some huge giveaway here on the show just because I were like, who wants what? New gaming computer. Good for you. Okay, you get that. That's a grand prize. Something. I don't know. I had all these plans that I don't get to do because I didn't. So you can blame the Powerball and me not winning on why you don't get free stuff.
In our raid team has gotten his house struck by lightning like 3 times since I've known him.
He needs to move.
Does he live in Florida?
No.
South Africa.
Oh wow. Well,
How far does he have to travel to go to a computer repair shop?
So the last lightning thing hit the telephone wires, and it traveled the telephone wires and the electrical wires, and it traveled and blew up all of his electronics, including his computer. And the nearest repair shop is 100,000 miles away.
I thought it was 10,000.
It's out of the country. It's not in Africa.
Yeah.
So that's
it's a ways. He's not gonna jog. He's not gonna jog there.
So
it's my computer.
If he can get his house struck by lightning 3 times, sometime that's gotta make someone that we know win the lottery or something.
so I just gotta say, I mean, I don't know this person. And you know how they say everybody in WoW is really not who they say they are? And he's playing from somewhere where he has to go 100,000 miles, supposedly, to get wire to fix his wiring in his house or whatever.
His computer.
Okay, to get a computer. How the hell does he have internet?
No. So he's... Well, from what I assume, he's like upper class South African. I don't know. That's me just assuming.
But he lives 100,000 miles away from where he can buy a computer?
It's from like the actual Dell Center, which is like in Germany or something. Because there's nobody who's going to repair his computer in South Africa.
Wouldn't it be easier just to buy a new one?
Well, he would still have to travel to I'm not quite sure that they have a Best Buy in like Johannesburg. So, but he's shown pictures.
All I gotta say,
where he was.
Is this sounds like some kind of catfish thing to me?
No.
And I think he's trolling your entire raid team, and I think that he deserves the troll prize of the week for how bad he's trolling all of you with him needing to take the night off.
He's not trolling, and he's shown pictures of the safaris and stuff that he was on, and the lions and the elephants and stuff.
And the tigers and the bears. Oh my.
So I have 2 levels of respect for Amanzi.
What's her name lives in the North Pole.
Perceived respect for Amanzi, and you're the ultimate troll respect for Amanzi right now, and I don't know which one's accurate because
but it's like if Dad said
Photoshop exists and you can Google pictures of lions and tigers and bears pretty easily. So
But
yeah.
Des, you've seen pictures of Des living in the North Pole.
But she didn't have to travel 100,000 miles to buy a new computer.
She has to go to British Columbia. She gets flown. Maybe it's not 100,000 miles, but it's certainly a plane trip away. Anyways, I digress. Just saying. We should win the lottery sometime if he can get struck by lightning 3 times.
Draven's going to edit all of this out.
On the presumption that he is actually, his area is getting struck by lightning that many times, A, either move, or B, set up a lightning rod, a couple 100 feet away that's taller, so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Monty has the coolest accent ever.
So let me point something out because Chris, Game Case Cuddles, just pointed out in the chat that the circumference of the Earth is 23,000 miles and change. And you're talking about him going 100,000 miles.
Well, whatever. It's a long way. 10,000
Cuddles.
miles.
Cuddles. I just want to point out, and this is my weekly pick on Scarlet moment. She plays a Death Knight. They're not really known for good math skills.
But she did say she likes monks. She's loving her monk. What does that,
Monks
what does that
are
say?
awesome. Monks are fun. And bouncy.
He just said, does he need to go to the moon? That's
Does he have
amazing.
a moon computer? Shut up.
I might leave this whole
Oh,
thing.
Team, come in here and help me.
I might leave this whole thing in just for that comment. Anyway,
That is so mean.
anyway, let's try to, not ramble for much longer. I really can't say cut it short because we well past that.
I'm sorry, that was good.
Thank you for the show title. To the moon.
Wait, so we're having 2 show titles?
I never really said what the other one. Okay. We'll figure it out. So, let me see. We did the email already, so feedback. Give us more feedback, guys. Questions. Something you want to know. It doesn't matter. Just nothing creepy. That's not cool.
Send all creepy stuff.
Confirmed, there
Draven.
is no Best Buy in Johannesburg. Thank you,
Okay.
Cuddles.
I don't think it's 100,000 miles wide, though. Well, 50,000 miles wide. He might be on the other side of town. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some shout-outs. Scarlet, can you come back to Earth for long enough to do some shout-outs? Or do we have to, telegraph the moon?
I am going to shout out to Amanzi in South Africa because that's cool as fuck.
Number 3.
You really shouldn't bleep those out.
I kind of have to.
Wow.
Why?
Because it's not marked for adults. I could probably get away with 1 every so often, but I can't do 3 in one show. We wouldn't get away
That was
with
pretty
that.
good. Yeah, don't forget that I said dickhole earlier too. You probably
Note to self: adjust settings on Stitcher and iTunes to adults only,
Why not? We should be an adult show.
or make them edit shows every week. Let's see how they like it.
Oh, hey, by the way, we have a new website.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we literally, after the show last week, we spent some time, got my microphone kind of working, and then our website kind of went boom. It's fixed. We got to rebuild it. We haven't really got a whole chance to mess with too much of it yet, but it is coming back and all that fun stuff. So yay! It's actually it's upgraded at that. Holy cow, Theory. I don't know how you did that with that picture, but that was cool.
Well, I can't take a whole lot of credit. It's a template, but it did come out very, very nice.
And Scarlett's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not 100,000 miles away. Was that all your shout-outs for the week, Scarlett?
Oh, no, my shout-out was...
You did a Monzi already. Well, you gave a shout-out to a Monzi.
Damn!
The way this is
Monzi's
going.
married. Thank you.
Okay.
So, no, but we had a shout out from our chat. There is apparently a CTR Florida meetup, and it's bit.ly/CTR FL meet.
Okay. I will put that in the show notes. Theory, you should probably go to that. Cuddles will be upset if you don't.
And take kilt pictures.
I don't have a kilt, so that's
You
not
should
going to
get
happen.
a kilt.
Cuddles will let you borrow one.
Yeah,
No,
there you go.
Just
he can wear
just
his
wash
kilt.
it. Just wash it first.
Yeah, he can wear his kilt on. I'll wear shorts or something.
Confirm. Theory's going. There you go, Cuddles.
If I'm off, which is still debatable. If I'm off, I'm going. But I don't know if I'm going to be off.
All right. Theory, your shout-outs for the week.
Okay, obviously, Joel Volunteer Fire Department, all the folks over there, Slim, Keena, we miss you, come back. And everybody over there is pretty good, all of CTR peeps, Vex peeps, Bowhaven, also Blackala, Lat, also known as Sin. Great team, guys, everybody over there. Gal, of course, joining us tonight there in the actual chat room was very, very cool. And that's going to be it.
Okay. As for me, I'm going to give a shout out to those, as I'm not going to call them what you did. I'm going to call them douche nozzles on Sargeras. That kicked me out of the group. I know they had no trouble killing the boss without me, but yeah, they get my shout out for the week because I felt like using that term and beeping myself.
Say it again.
It again. I'm not your monkey.
Meow.
I'm going to grab that snapshot of sound. I'm not your monkey. And I'm gonna make that my ringtone every time I get a text message. I'm not your monkey.
I approve. Every time you get a call, it's the Murloc sound.
You know, I have that as my
what I have now.
notification. And have you ever accidentally kept it out on loud at work?
Yeah, I get strange looks.
I did mine during a meeting. Someone in a group me kept sending notifications, and let's just say everybody knows what a Murloc is now.
Including the client that you were talking to on the phone.
No, I can't at this call center. It's a fireable offense to have your phone out. But at a meeting, our bosses are less worried about that.
Alrighty, so any last words?
No words for me.
No words.
Wait, I'm not your monkey.
And on that note, yes, that will apparently be a thing.
After all this time. Always.
Hello, Mother. You know, the world could always use more heroes.